When our lives are filled with excess, whether it's possessions, commitments, or distractions, it can feel overwhelming. By simplifying, we free ourselves from the clutter and noise, creating more space for peace and clarity. Furthermore, simplicity fosters a sense of freedom. When we are not weighed down by the desire for more, we experience greater lightness and ease in life. We are able to move through the world with less attachment and more openness. Mindfulness plays a critical role in cultivating simplicity. By staying present and aware, we can make conscious choices about what truly matters and let go of the things that do not serve our well-being. In Buddhism, the monastic tradition embodies the principle of simplicity. Monks and nuns live with very few possessions, focusing instead on spiritual practice and inner development. While not everyone may choose to live a monastic life, we can all incorporate the principles of simplicity into our daily lives by reducing distractions, focusing on what truly matters, and cultivating contentment with what we have. Ultimately, embracing simplicity in Buddhism is about letting go of the unnecessary and focusing on what brings true joy and fulfillment. By simplifying our lives, we create more space for mindfulness, peace, and happiness. 20. Develop right speech in Buddhism. Right speech is one of the steps on the Noble Eightfold Path, a fundamental guide for ethical living and spiritual practice. Right speech involves speaking in ways that are truthful, kind, and beneficial, while avoiding words that cause harm, division, or suffering. At its core, right speech is about using our words to foster harmony, understanding, and compassion. Buddha taught that words have tremendous power. They can build bridges between people or tear them down. By practicing right speech, we become more mindful of how our words impact others and cultivate more thoughtful communication. One of the key aspects of right speech is truthfulness, as in speaking honestly and with integrity, avoiding lies, exaggerations, or deceit. Truthful speech builds trust and strengthens relationships, while dishonesty undermines both personal integrity and the well-being of others. Kindness is another crucial element of right speech. Speaking kindly involves using words that uplift and support, rather than words that wound or criticize. The Buddha emphasized that even when delivering difficult truths, we should do so with compassion, making sure our words are not unnecessarily hurtful. Another aspect of right speech is avoiding gossip or slander. Gossip often arises from a desire to feel superior or important at the expense of others, but it can cause deep harm by spreading misunderstandings or fueling conflict. Right speech encourages us to refrain from such talk and instead focus on conversations that are beneficial and constructive. Right speech also involves practicing restraint in our communication. This means being mindful of when it is appropriate to speak and when it is better to remain silent. Sometimes, even when something is true, it might not be the right time or context to say it. Silence, when used skillfully, can be a powerful form of communication. The practice of right speech fosters greater harmony in our relationships and contributes to a more peaceful and compassionate world. It also helps us develop mindfulness in our interactions as we become more aware of the impact of our words. Meditation can support the practice of right speech by helping us cultivate mindfulness and compassion. Through regular meditation, we develop the inner clarity and emotional balance needed to speak with kindness, truthfulness, and care. Ultimately, right speech in Buddhism is about using our words as a tool for promoting understanding, compassion, and peace. By speaking with mindfulness and intention, we contribute to a more harmonious world and create positive karmic effects for ourselves and others. 21. Practice non-attachment. Non-attachment, or letting go, is a central theme in Buddhist teachings. It refers to the ability to live without clinging to things, people, or outcomes. This practice doesn't mean disengaging from life or rejecting emotions, but rather learning to enjoy life's experiences without becoming attached to them in a way that causes suffering. The Buddha taught that attachment is the root of suffering. When we cling to things, whether they are possessions, relationships, or beliefs, we set ourselves up for disappointment and dissatisfaction because all things are impermanent. Practicing non-attachment helps us navigate life's inevitable changes with greater ease and freedom. Non-attachment begins with recognizing the impermanent nature of everything around us. Nothing stays the same. people change, circumstances evolve, and material possessions come and go. When we understand this, we can start to let go of the desire to control or hold on to things that are beyond our grasp. One of the primary benefits of non-attachment is inner peace. When we stop clinging to external things for our happiness, we free ourselves from the anxiety and stress that come from constantly trying to secure or protect those things. Non-attachment allows us to find contentment and peace within ourselves, independent of external circumstances. Non-attachment also enhances our relationships. When we let go of the need to possess or control others, we allow them to be who they are, and we approach relationships with more openness and acceptance. This leads to deeper, more authentic connections with others. Another important aspect of non-attachment is releasing our attachment to specific outcomes. Often we become fixated on how we want things to turn out, whether it's a goal we're pursuing or a relationship we're nurturing. When things don't go as planned, we experience frustration or disappointment. Non-attachment helps us let go of rigid expectations and be more flexible, allowing life to unfold naturally. Mindfulness is a key practice in cultivating non-attachment. By staying present and observing our thoughts and emotions without judgment, we can begin to notice the ways in which we cling to things. This awareness allows us to release those attachments and find greater freedom. Meditation is also a powerful tool for practicing non-attachment. In meditation, we learn to observe the mind's tendencies to cling or resist and to let go of those impulses. Over time, this practice helps us develop a more detached and peaceful approach to life. In essence, non-attachment in Buddhism is about embracing life with an open heart, without grasping or clinging. By letting go of our attachments to people, things, and outcomes, we free ourselves from suffering and cultivate a deeper sense of peace and contentment. 22. Be mindful of your actions. Right action is another step on the Noble Eightfold Path, guiding individuals to act in ways that are ethical, compassionate, and mindful. In Buddhism, actions are not only physical deeds but also include thoughts and intentions, as they too have karmic consequences. At the heart of right action is the principle of non-harming, ahimsa. This means abstaining from actions that cause harm to oneself or others, including physical violence, theft, and dishonesty. The Buddha taught that by practicing right action, we create positive karma and contribute to a more peaceful and compassionate world. Mindfulness is essential to right action. By cultivating awareness of our thoughts, emotions, and impulses, we become more conscious of the choices we make. This awareness helps us act in ways that align with our values and the well-being of others. Right action also encourages generosity and compassion. Beyond simply avoiding harm, it inspires us to actively seek ways to help others, whether through acts of kindness, service, or charity. By engaging in actions that promote the welfare of others, we generate positive karma and contribute to the collective well-being. Moreover, right action involves living with integrity. This means acting in alignment with our moral principles, even when it is difficult or inconvenient. Living with integrity fosters self-respect and trust in our relationships, creating a solid foundation for personal and spiritual growth. Practicing right action requires a deep understanding of the interconnectedness of all beings. The Buddha emphasized that every action we take has consequences, not just for ourselves but for others as well. By considering the impact of our actions, we learn to act with greater responsibility and compassion. Meditation and mindfulness can support the practice of right action by helping us develop clarity and insight. Through regular meditation, we cultivate the inner calm and emotional balance needed to act skillfully, even in challenging situations. Ultimately, right action in Buddhism is about living in a way that promotes peace, harmony, and well-being for all beings. By being mindful of our actions and their consequences, we create positive karma and contribute to a more compassionate and just world. 23. Develop right effort. Right effort is a critical part of the Noble Eightfold Path and refers to the energy and determination we apply to cultivating wholesome qualities and eliminating unwholesome ones. It involves the persistent effort to live in alignment with the Buddha's teachings, cultivating wisdom, compassion, and mindfulness in our everyday lives. Right effort begins with the intention to grow and transform. This means actively working to develop positive qualities like kindness, patience, and mindfulness, while abandoning harmful habits like greed, anger, and ignorance. Right effort requires discipline, but it is not about forcing ourselves into rigid control. It is about putting forth effort in a balanced and mindful way. One of the primary benefits of right effort is that it leads to personal and spiritual growth. By consistently working to develop wholesome qualities, we create the conditions for greater peace, happiness, and freedom from suffering. Right effort helps us stay focused on our spiritual path, even when distractions or difficulties arise. Right effort also involves maintaining mindfulness in our everyday activities. This means being aware of our thoughts, emotions, and actions throughout the day, and making conscious choices that support our well-being and the well-being of others. In Buddhism, right effort is often compared to the care a gardener gives to plants. Just as a gardener nurtures seeds, waters them, and removes weeds, we too must cultivate our minds, nurturing positive qualities and removing negative tendencies. Meditation plays a crucial role in the practice of right effort. Through meditation, we develop the mental clarity and focus needed to recognize unwholesome states of mind and replace them with wholesome ones. Over time, this practice strengthens our ability to stay mindful and compassionate in all areas of life. In essence, right effort is about applying steady, balanced energy to the pursuit of wisdom and compassion. By cultivating wholesome qualities and abandoning harmful habits, we move closer to enlightenment and create a life filled with peace, joy, and purpose. 24. Cultivate right livelihood. Right livelihood is another step on the Noble Eightfold Path and refers to earning a living in a way that is ethical, non-harming, and aligned with Buddhist values. It encourages individuals to choose work that promotes well-being and avoids professions that exploit or cause harm to others. In Buddhism, livelihood is not just about making money. It is about how we contribute to the world through our work. Right livelihood asks us to consider whether our work is aligned with the principles of non-harming, compassion, and mindfulness. It emphasizes that how we earn our living has an impact not only on ourselves, but on the wider community. One of the key principles of right livelihood is non-harming. The Buddha encouraged his followers to avoid professions that involve harming other beings, such as the arms trade, the slave trade, or industries that exploit the environment. By choosing a livelihood that minimizes harm, we create positive karma and contribute to a more compassionate and sustainable world. Right livelihood also involves acting with integrity in our work. This means being honest, fair, and responsible in our professional dealings, and treating others with respect and kindness. When we act with integrity in our work, we build trust and create positive relationships with others. Furthermore, right livelihood encourages us to consider the impact of our work on our spiritual path. Does our work bring us closer to wisdom, compassion, and mindfulness? Or does it distract us from our spiritual goals? By choosing work that supports our spiritual growth, we align our livelihood with the pursuit of enlightenment. Meditation and mindfulness can help us navigate the challenges of right livelihood. Through regular practice, we develop the clarity and discernment needed to make ethical choices in our work and to stay mindful of the impact of our actions on others. Ultimately, right livelihood in Buddhism is about earning a living in a way that is ethical, compassionate, and aligned with our spiritual values. By choosing work that promotes well-being and avoids harm, we contribute to a more just, compassionate, and harmonious world. As Buddha wisely stated, happiness is not determined by our possessions or our identity. Rather, it is shaped by our thoughts. Have you ever felt that the challenges life throws your way are simply overwhelming? In this discussion, we'll explore Buddhist wisdom that offers guidance for dealing with these struggles. These teachings aren't exclusive to followers of Buddhism. They're for anyone grappling with emotions in life's various difficulties. Let's walk together through 15 simple concepts inspired by Buddhism. These aren't complicated rules, but rather ways to enrich life and discover more happiness. Whether you're stressed, lost, or just searching for peace, these ancient insights offer something for everyone. Let's take the journey to find greater calm and happiness one step at a time. 1. Embrace forgiveness. Forgiveness holds a deep meaning within Buddhism, rooted in the recognition of interconnectedness and the essence of suffering. Within Buddhist philosophy, forgiveness isn't just about letting go of past wrongs. It's an evolving practice that brings inner freedom and frees us from the cycle of suffering. Forgiveness stems from an understanding of impermanence and the truth that holding on to past grievances perpetuates our pain. Buddha himself highlighted the importance of forgiveness with a powerful analogy. Holding on to anger is like clutching a hot coal with the intention of throwing it at someone else. You are the one who gets burned. Forgiving from a Buddhist perspective means liberating ourselves from the emotional weight of resentment and anger. It's not necessarily about condoning or forgetting someone's actions, but rather releasing the emotional grip of past hurt. A common way to foster forgiveness in Buddhism is through a practice called metta, or loving kindness meditation. In this method, individuals focus on sending thoughts of compassion, kindness, and forgiveness towards themselves and others, including those who have caused pain. Repetition helps soften the heart and break down the walls built by anger. Additionally, forgiveness in Buddhism is intertwined with karma, the law of cause and effect. By understanding karma, we see that all actions, whether positive or negative, bring consequences. Holding on to resentment only reinforces negative karma. But by forgiving, we interrupt this cycle and make space for more peace and happiness. The path to forgiveness can be challenging, especially when the wounds are deep, but it is a gradual process. Over time, as we cultivate compassion and deeper understanding, forgiveness becomes easier. Ultimately, practicing forgiveness is an act of self-liberation. By letting go of grudges and embracing forgiveness, we free ourselves from the burdens of the past and open ourselves to love, joy, and compassion. As Buddha expressed, hatred does not cease by hatred, but by love alone. By embracing forgiveness, we break the chain of suffering and invite more peace into our lives. 2. Live with purpose. In Buddhism, living with purpose means intentionally aligning our thoughts, words, and actions with what is genuinely important to us. It's about living in harmony with our values and aspirations, rather than being swayed by outside forces or living aimlessly. Recognizing life's impermanence and its preciousness is at the heart of this principle. Buddhists believe life is fleeting, so it's vital to make the most of each moment by living with mindfulness and clarity of purpose. A crucial aspect of living purposefully is clarifying our values and priorities. This involves deep reflection on what truly matters to us, what gives us a sense of fulfillment, and what we wish to achieve. With clarity, we can make choices that resonate with our deepest intentions, leading to a more fulfilling life. Purposeful living also encourages us to set meaningful goals. Instead of reacting to circumstances or drifting through life, we pursue ambitions that nurture our growth and well-being. These may include professional achievements, personal development, relationships, or health. Mindfulness plays a vital role in intentional living. When we practice mindfulness, we stay fully present in the moment, aware of our thoughts, feelings, and actions. This awareness helps us make choices that are aligned with our values, rather than being driven by impulse or external influences. Living with purpose also means taking responsibility for our choices. Instead of blaming external factors for our circumstances, we empower ourselves to shape our futures through mindful intention. We cultivate resilience, understanding that our actions can drive meaningful change. In addition, living with purpose encourages gratitude for each moment, rather than constantly yearning for future achievements or dwelling on the past. By embracing each present moment fully, we experience the richness of life as it unfolds. In short, living with purpose involves cultivating mindfulness, setting meaningful goals, and taking responsibility for our actions. By doing so, we create a life filled with authenticity, fulfillment, and a sense of alignment with our true values. 3. Foster generosity. Generosity is a cornerstone of Buddhist practice, emphasizing selflessness and compassion. It's the act of giving freely without expecting anything in return. This doesn't only refer to material wealth. Generosity in Buddhism includes offering time, attention, kindness, and even forgiveness. At its core, generosity connects us deeply with others, transcending the limitations of self. One of the primary teachings of Buddhism is overcoming selfishness by embracing a spirit of giving. Buddha himself embodied generosity, sharing his teachings freely with all who sought guidance. He noted the joy that comes from giving, explaining that generosity brings happiness at every stage. When we decide to give, during the act of giving, and afterward as we reflect on our contribution. Cultivating generosity involves fostering a generous mindset, always looking for opportunities to give. Whether through charity, small acts of kindness, or even just listening to someone in need, generosity has a profound impact on both the giver and the recipient. Generosity also challenges us to overcome attachment and selfishness. It teaches us to let go of a scarcity mindset and embrace abundance. By practicing generosity, we move beyond cravings and dissatisfaction, discovering deeper contentment and fulfillment. One particular practice within Buddhism for nurturing generosity is called Dharma. This involves giving freely, often to support spiritual teachings or the community. Dharma is considered a fundamental virtue in Buddhism, purifying the mind and fostering wholesome qualities. Gratitude is another important aspect of generosity. By acknowledging the kindness we've received from others, we develop a sense of humility and appreciation. This recognition inspires us to be generous in return. In essence, generosity in Buddhism is a practice of compassion, kindness, and joy. It enriches our lives and the lives of others, helping create a world filled with love and understanding. 4. Reflect on yourself. Self-reflection is an essential practice in Buddhism, crucial for personal growth and freedom from suffering. It involves introspection, observing our thoughts, emotions, and actions to gain deeper insights and wisdom. At its core, self-reflection allows us to understand the transient and interconnected nature of life. Mindfulness is the foundation of self-reflection in Buddhism. Through mindfulness, we stay present, observing our mental and emotional states without judgment. This practice gives us the clarity to see the causes behind our thoughts and emotions, helping us identify and shift harmful patterns. By observing our thoughts and emotions, we develop self-awareness, which enables us to notice unhelpful tendencies and cultivate positive qualities like compassion, wisdom, and kindness. Buddhism encourages honest reflection on our actions, taking responsibility for their ethical implications. In doing so, we can act with greater integrity in the world. Reflecting on the nature of self is another crucial aspect of this practice. Through deep introspection, we begin to see that the concept of self is an illusion. The self is not a fixed or permanent entity, but a mental construct. Realizing this truth frees us from ego-driven attachments and opens our hearts to the interconnectedness of all beings. Meditation provides a powerful method for practicing self-reflection. It creates the mental space needed for quiet contemplation, allowing us to observe our minds with greater clarity and insight. Through self-reflection, we develop self-awareness, wisdom, and freedom from suffering. By turning inward with mindfulness, we gain a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us, leading to inner peace and clarity. Cultivating generosity involves fostering a generous mindset, always looking for opportunities to give. Whether through charity, small acts of kindness, or even just listening to someone in need, generosity has a profound impact on both the giver and the recipient. Generosity also challenges us to overcome attachment and selfishness. It teaches us to let go of a scarcity mindset and embrace abundance. By practicing generosity, we move beyond cravings and dissatisfaction, discovering deeper contentment and fulfillment. One particular practice within Buddhism for nurturing generosity is called Dharma. This involves giving freely, often to support spiritual teachings or the community. Dharma is considered a fundamental virtue in Buddhism, purifying the mind and fostering wholesome qualities. Gratitude is another important aspect of generosity. By acknowledging the kindness we've received from others, we develop a sense of humility and appreciation. This recognition inspires us to be generous in return. In essence, generosity in Buddhism is a practice of compassion, kindness, and joy. It enriches our lives and the lives of others, helping create a world filled with love and understanding. 4. Reflect on yourself. Self-reflection is an essential practice in Buddhism, crucial for personal growth and freedom from suffering. It involves introspection, observing our thoughts, emotions, and actions to gain deeper insights and wisdom. At its core, self-reflection allows us to understand the transient and interconnected nature of life. Mindfulness is the foundation of self-reflection in Buddhism. Through mindfulness, we stay present, observing our mental and emotional states without judgment. This practice gives us the clarity to see the causes behind our thoughts and emotions, helping us identify and shift harmful patterns. By observing our thoughts and emotions, we develop self-awareness, which enables us to notice unhelpful tendencies and cultivate positive qualities like compassion, wisdom, and kindness. Buddhism encourages honest reflection on our actions, taking responsibility for their ethical implications. In doing so, we can act with greater integrity in the world. Reflecting on the nature of self is another crucial aspect of this practice. Through deep introspection, we begin to see that the concept of self is an illusion. The self is not a fixed or permanent entity, but a mental construct. Realizing this truth frees us from ego-driven attachments and opens our hearts to the interconnectedness of all beings. Meditation provides a powerful method for practicing self-reflection. It creates the mental space needed for quiet contemplation, allowing us to observe our minds with greater clarity and insight. Through self-reflection, we develop self-awareness, wisdom, and freedom from suffering. By turning inward with mindfulness, we gain a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us, leading to inner peace and clarity. 5. Cultivate inner balance. Equanimity refers to a state of mental balance, calmness, and non-reactivity in the face of life's ups and downs. It's the ability to remain stable and undisturbed whether we experience pleasure or pain. Equanimity is crucial for achieving true happiness and liberation from suffering. This concept is rooted in the Buddhist understanding of impermanence. Life's experiences, both positive and negative, are transient. By accepting this truth, we realize that clinging to pleasurable experiences or resisting discomfort only leads to suffering. Equanimity teaches us to embrace life's fluctuations with an open heart, without being consumed by them. When we develop equanimity, we create inner peace and stability. This peace allows us to remain grounded during life's turbulence and respond to difficulties with wisdom and compassion. Mindfulness plays a critical role in fostering equanimity. It helps us stay present, observing our thoughts and emotions without being swept away by them. Cultivating equanimity also involves practicing acceptance and non-attachment. Instead of grasping for what we desire or pushing away what we dislike, we learn to accept things as they are. This non-attachment frees us from the emotional roller coaster of desire and aversion, allowing us to find peace in life's uncertainties. Moreover, equanimity fosters compassion and empathy for others. By recognizing our shared humanity, we develop deeper compassion for everyone, no matter their circumstances. This sense of interconnectedness dissolves barriers between people and fosters harmony in the world. Meditation is a powerful practice for cultivating equanimity. Through quiet reflection, we can train our minds to stay balanced even in adversity, cultivating greater peace, clarity, and freedom. 6. Practice patience. Patience is a deeply valued virtue in Buddhism, seen as essential for enlightenment and freedom from suffering. Patience allows us to remain calm and composed in the face of difficulties, delays, or provocations without becoming reactive or agitated. Buddhists understand that everything is impermanent and subject to change. This realization helps us cultivate patience as we navigate life's challenges. When we understand that difficulties are temporary and arise due to a complex web of causes and conditions, we become more tolerant and peaceful. Patience brings inner peace and resilience, enabling us to face life's ups and downs with calmness and equanimity. Through mindfulness, we can observe the feelings of impatience and frustration as they arise, without getting swept away by them. This mindful awareness creates space between stimulus and reaction, allowing us to respond wisely. Acceptance and non-attachment also play important roles in cultivating patience. Patience helps us accept things as they are, rather than clinging to desires or expectations. This non-attachment frees us from suffering and brings peace, even in challenging situations. Moreover, patience encourages compassion for others. By recognizing that everyone is on their own journey, facing their own challenges, we develop empathy and understanding. Meditation helps cultivate patience by training the mind to remain steady and calm during life's adversities. Regular meditation strengthens our ability to stay patient, peaceful, and wise. 7. Release the ego. Letting go of the ego is a central tenet in Buddhism, emphasizing the importance of transcending the illusion of a fixed, separate self. The ego is viewed as a primary source of suffering, as it leads to attachment, aversion, and distorted perceptions of reality. At the heart of letting go of the ego is understanding the impermanent, interconnected nature of all things. Buddha taught that the self is not an inherent, unchanging entity. Instead, it is a mental construct without intrinsic existence. By releasing attachment to the self, we free ourselves from the cycles of craving and suffering. When we let go of the ego, we cultivate humility and openness. Ego-driven pride and self-importance hinder genuine connection with others. But as we release the ego's hold, we open ourselves to deeper relationships and broader perspectives. Letting go of the ego also involves cultivating self-awareness. By reflecting on our thoughts and behaviors with mindfulness, we become aware of how the ego operates in our lives. This awareness helps us release the ego's grip, leading to greater clarity and wisdom. In addition, letting go of the ego fosters compassion and empathy. When we see ourselves as interconnected with all beings, we cultivate understanding and empathy, even for those who challenge our sense of self. Meditation is an effective practice for transcending the ego. It offers a space for quiet reflection, helping us detach from the ego's influence and experience deeper peace and liberation. 8. Embrace change. Buddhism teaches that change is a natural and inevitable part of life, and embracing it can lead to growth, transformation, and liberation from suffering. Embracing change involves recognizing that everything is impermanent, including our thoughts, emotions, and the world around us. One of the benefits of embracing change is that it fosters resilience and adaptability. When we understand that nothing lasts forever, we become more flexible and better equipped to handle life's challenges. By letting go of attachment to fixed ideas or outcomes, we open ourselves to the possibilities that change brings. Embracing change also encourages mindfulness and presence. By staying present in the moment, we learn to accept change with an open heart and respond with wisdom. Meditation is a powerful tool for embracing change, helping us cultivate acceptance and peace as we navigate life's transitions. 9. Seek wisdom in Buddhism. The pursuit of wisdom is considered essential for attaining enlightenment and freedom from suffering. Wisdom is not merely about intellectual knowledge, but it refers to a profound understanding of the nature of reality and the causes of suffering. Gaining insight into these truths helps individuals find clarity and live in a way that fosters peace and happiness. The Buddha emphasized that true wisdom arises from knowing both oneself and the world. One of his famous teachings states, "He who knows others is wise, he who knows himself is enlightened." This illustrates that wisdom is a balance of both internal and external knowledge. To seek wisdom is to engage in deep introspection and self-awareness, while also understanding the greater workings of life around us. A key aspect of seeking wisdom in Buddhism is developing an open, curious mind. Buddhists are encouraged to question and investigate the teachings, not simply to accept them on blind faith. This spirit of inquiry allows individuals to uncover deeper truths and broadens their perspectives on life. Studying the teachings of the Buddha and other wise beings also plays an essential role in cultivating wisdom. Buddhist scriptures offer extensive insights into impermanence, suffering, and the path to liberation. By reflecting on these teachings and applying them in daily life, we can deepen our understanding of ourselves and the world. Wisdom also involves mindfulness and self-awareness. Through mindfulness, we can observe our thoughts, feelings, and sensations with clarity, allowing us to gain insight into habitual patterns of thinking and behavior that may cause suffering. Meditation is a powerful practice for cultivating wisdom. It creates a space for inner reflection, allowing us to connect with our inner wisdom and experience deeper insights into the nature of existence. Ultimately, seeking wisdom is an ongoing process in Buddhism. It involves continuously learning, reflecting, and applying what we discover to cultivate a life of clarity, peace, and compassion. 10. Practice detachment. Detachment is a fundamental Buddhist concept that involves letting go of our attachments to desires, possessions, and outcomes. It is the practice of developing a mindset of non-attachment, where we are not overly influenced by the highs and lows of life. This does not mean abandoning all emotions or responsibilities, but rather cultivating a sense of inner freedom and equanimity. At the heart of detachment is the understanding that all things are impermanent. The Buddha taught that attachment to things that are transient, whether material possessions, relationships, or even ideas, leads to suffering because they can never offer lasting fulfillment. By practicing detachment, we begin to release the grasp on things that cannot provide true happiness and instead find contentment in the present moment. One of the main benefits of practicing detachment is the cultivation of inner peace. By letting go of our attachment to desires and expectations, we can free ourselves from the emotional roller coaster that comes with craving or aversion. This non-attachment allows us to maintain balance and calmness, regardless of what is happening in the external world. Detachment also involves letting go of the identification with the ego. The ego creates a sense of separateness, leading to self-centeredness and suffering. The Buddha taught that this notion of a fixed, independent self is an illusion. By releasing attachment to the ego and recognizing our interconnectedness with all beings, we transcend narrow self-interest and experience a deeper sense of unity. Mindfulness is crucial in practicing detachment. By staying aware of our thoughts and emotions, we can observe how attachments arise and let them go. This mindful observation helps us recognize the patterns of craving and dissatisfaction, empowering us to cultivate peace and contentment in the present. Meditation is another powerful tool for fostering detachment. It allows us to observe the fluctuations of the mind and cultivate a sense of equanimity. Through regular meditation practice, we develop the ability to let go of attachments and maintain inner stability, regardless of life's changes. Ultimately, practicing detachment in Buddhism leads to greater peace, freedom, and happiness. By releasing our grip on desires, possessions, and outcomes, we can experience a profound sense of inner calm and liberation from the suffering caused by attachment. 11. Cultivate joy. Joy is an essential aspect of Buddhist practice, embodying the belief that true happiness arises from within. Unlike fleeting pleasures tied to external circumstances, joy in Buddhism is a deep-seated sense of contentment and well-being that is cultivated through mindfulness, compassion, and positive mental states. The Buddha taught that joy arises from wholesome states of mind, such as generosity, gratitude, and loving kindness. By intentionally cultivating these qualities, we create fertile ground for joy to flourish in our lives. One of the most profound benefits of cultivating joy is the sense of inner peace and well-being it brings. When the mind is free from cravings, aversions, and delusions, joy naturally arises. By focusing on positive thoughts and experiences rather than dwelling on negativity or dissatisfaction, we begin to experience a greater sense of fulfillment and happiness in the present moment. Mindfulness plays a significant role in cultivating joy. By being fully present and aware, we develop an appreciation for life's beauty and the simple pleasures that surround us. Practicing gratitude, for instance, helps shift our attention from what we lack to the abundance that already exists in our lives. Additionally, cultivating joy in Buddhism involves letting go of attachment to desires and outcomes. The Buddha taught that craving and clinging lead to suffering, as they create a sense of perpetual dissatisfaction. By letting go of attachment and being content with the present moment, we open ourselves to experiencing joy regardless of external circumstances. Loving-kindness meditation is a powerful practice for cultivating joy. Through this practice, we generate feelings of love, warmth, and goodwill towards ourselves and others. As we radiate these positive emotions, we dissolve barriers of separation and connect more deeply with the world around us, leading to a greater sense of joy and fulfillment. Ultimately, cultivating joy is a transformative practice in Buddhism. By training the mind to focus on positive qualities, practicing mindfulness and gratitude, and releasing attachment to desires, we can experience a profound sense of inner happiness and contentment. 12. Develop compassion. Compassion is a core principle in Buddhist teachings, reflecting the aspiration to alleviate the suffering of others and promote their well-being. In Buddhism, compassion is not merely a passive emotion, but an active quality of the heart that arises from a deep understanding of interconnectedness. At the heart of developing compassion is the recognition that all beings wish to avoid suffering and experience happiness. By acknowledging this universal truth, we cultivate a genuine concern for the welfare of others and develop compassion as a guiding force in our thoughts, words, and actions. One of the key benefits of cultivating compassion in Buddhism is the sense of inner peace and happiness it brings. Compassion arises from an open heart, characterized by kindness and empathy for all beings. When we act with compassion, we contribute to the well-being of others while also experiencing fulfillment and satisfaction in our relationships. Loving-kindness meditation is a powerful tool for fostering compassion. In this practice, we extend feelings of love, kindness, and goodwill towards ourselves and others, generating a sense of connection and empathy. This practice helps dissolve the barriers of self-centeredness and opens our hearts to the needs and suffering of others. Additionally, developing compassion in Buddhism involves letting go of the illusion of a separate self. The Buddha taught that the belief in a fixed, independent self is the root of suffering. By transcending self-centeredness and recognizing our interconnectedness with all beings, we foster compassion and empathy, leading to a more harmonious and compassionate world. Tonglen meditation is another practice that helps cultivate compassion. In this form of meditation, we visualize taking on the suffering of others and sending them love and healing energy in return. By practicing Tonglen, we develop a deeper sense of empathy and compassion for others, increasing our desire to alleviate their suffering. By practicing Tonglen, we develop a deeper sense of empathy and compassion for others, increasing our desire to alleviate their suffering. Ultimately, developing compassion in Buddhism is a transformative practice that enriches our relationships, cultivates inner peace, and contributes to the creation of a more compassionate world. 13. Embrace impermanence. Embracing impermanence is a central teaching in Buddhism, reflecting the understanding that all things are subject to change. Rather than resisting this truth, Buddhism encourages us to embrace impermanence as an opportunity for growth and liberation from suffering. The Buddha taught that all phenomena, including our thoughts, emotions, bodies, and the world around us, are constantly changing. By accepting the transient nature of reality, we begin to release the attachments and aversions that cause suffering. One of the primary benefits of embracing impermanence is the cultivation of resilience and adaptability. When we understand that change is inevitable, we are better prepared to navigate life's ups and downs with grace and equanimity. By letting go of rigid expectations and embracing life's fluidity, we experience greater freedom and peace. Moreover, embracing impermanence helps us let go of attachment to outcomes. The Buddha taught that attachment to the illusion of permanence creates dissatisfaction and suffering. By releasing these attachments, we find peace in the present moment, regardless of the external circumstances. Mindfulness plays a crucial role in embracing impermanence. By practicing mindfulness, we develop awareness of the present moment and learn to appreciate the fleeting beauty of life as it unfolds. This presence allows us to find joy and contentment, even in the midst of change. Mindfulness meditation is a powerful tool for cultivating awareness of impermanence. By focusing on the breath or bodily sensations, we develop the ability to observe the changing nature of our experience, letting go of attachment to past regrets or future anxieties. In essence, embracing impermanence is a transformative practice that frees us from the suffering caused by attachment. By accepting the transient nature of life, we cultivate resilience, joy, and inner peace. 14. Cultivate gratitude. Gratitude is a powerful practice in Buddhism, promoting a mindset of appreciation and thankfulness for the countless blessings in our lives. Gratitude is not just an emotion, but a transformative attitude that leads to deeper happiness, contentment, and spiritual growth. At the core of cultivating gratitude in Buddhism is the recognition of the abundance that surrounds us. The Buddha taught that even in difficult times, there are endless reasons to be grateful, from the gift of life itself to the kindness of others and the beauty of nature. One of the key benefits of practicing gratitude is the cultivation of inner peace and happiness. Gratitude arises from a heart that is open and appreciative, leading to a profound sense of well-being. By focusing on the good in our lives, we shift our attention from what is lacking to the abundance that exists, fostering greater joy and fulfillment. Gratitude also helps us let go of harmful habits like comparing ourselves to others or dwelling on past regrets and future worries. The Buddha taught that comparison leads to envy, while rumination leads to suffering. By practicing gratitude, we release these negative patterns and embrace peace in the present moment. Mindfulness plays a crucial role in cultivating gratitude. When we are mindful, we become fully present and aware of the goodness that surrounds us, from the warmth of the sun to the laughter of loved ones. By practicing gratitude through mindfulness, we develop a deep appreciation for life's beauty and richness. Gratitude meditation is an effective practice for nurturing this attitude. In this practice, we reflect on the blessings in our lives and express thanks for them. Regular practice of gratitude meditation cultivates a deep sense of appreciation, leading to greater peace, happiness, and fulfillment. Ultimately, cultivating gratitude in Buddhism is a transformative practice that enriches every aspect of life. By fostering an attitude of appreciation, letting go of harmful habits of mind, and staying present through mindfulness, we experience deeper joy, contentment, and spiritual growth. 15. Practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is a foundational practice in Buddhism and is integral to nearly all of its teachings. It is the art of bringing full awareness to the present moment, without judgment or distraction. Through mindfulness, we develop a deep awareness of our thoughts, emotions, and sensations, which allows us to respond to life with greater clarity, wisdom, and compassion. In essence, mindfulness is about being fully engaged in whatever we are doing, whether it's something as simple as washing the dishes or as complex as handling a challenging conversation. When we practice mindfulness, we focus on the present moment rather than getting lost in regrets about the past or worries about the future. One of the primary benefits of mindfulness is the reduction of stress and anxiety. By being present and aware, we learn to observe our thoughts and emotions without being swept away by them. This creates space between stimulus and reaction, allowing us to respond to life's challenges with calmness and wisdom. Mindfulness also plays a critical role in helping us understand the impermanence of all things. By staying present, we observe how our thoughts and feelings continuously arise and pass away. This understanding of impermanence helps us let go of attachment and aversion, freeing us from the suffering caused by clinging to transient experiences. Furthermore, mindfulness cultivates compassion. As we become more aware of our own struggles and suffering, we naturally develop empathy for others. By observing our own mind with kindness and non-judgment, we learn to extend the same compassion to others. Meditation is the primary method for cultivating mindfulness in Buddhism. Through practices such as breath meditation or body scan meditation, we develop the ability to remain present and aware, even amidst distractions. Over time, these practices help us bring mindfulness into our everyday activities, transforming the way we experience life. Ultimately, mindfulness is a transformative practice that allows us to live with grace, clarity, and compassion. By staying present and aware, we develop the ability to navigate life's challenges with wisdom and ease, creating a more fulfilling and joyful existence. 16. Embrace humility. Humility is a key virtue in Buddhism, deeply connected to the practice of letting go of the ego. In Buddhist teachings, the ego, our sense of a fixed, separate self, is seen as the root cause of much of our suffering. By cultivating humility, we dissolve the barriers that the ego builds and open ourselves to greater wisdom, compassion, and interconnectedness. Humility involves recognizing that we do not have all the answers and that there is always more to learn. This attitude of openness and curiosity is essential for personal growth and spiritual development. In Buddhism, humility is not about devaluing ourselves, but about seeing ourselves clearly without the distortions of pride or arrogance. One of the key benefits of humility is that it fosters deeper connections with others. When we let go of the need to be right or to assert our superiority, we create space for genuine understanding and empathy. Humility allows us to listen more openly, to learn from others, and to grow in wisdom. Humility also helps us let go of the ego's attachment to external validation. In Buddhist philosophy, seeking approval or recognition from others is seen as a form of craving, which leads to suffering. By cultivating humility, we learn to find contentment within ourselves, rather than relying on praise or acknowledgement from the outside world. Furthermore, humility is closely tied to compassion. When we recognize our own limitations and struggles, we become more compassionate toward others who are also dealing with their own challenges. Humility fosters a sense of interconnectedness, helping us see that we are all part of the same human experience. Meditation is a powerful tool for cultivating humility. Through meditation, we quiet the mind and observe the ego's tendencies without judgment. This practice helps us see the impermanence of the self and cultivates a sense of openness and acceptance. In essence, humility in Buddhism is about letting go of the ego's need for control, validation, or superiority. It is a practice of seeing ourselves and others with clarity and compassion, creating space for deeper connections and personal growth. 17. Foster compassion for yourself. While compassion for others is often emphasized in Buddhist teachings, compassion for oneself is equally important. Self-compassion involves treating ourselves with the same kindness, understanding, and care that we would offer to a dear friend. It means acknowledging our own suffering and responding to it with gentleness, rather than criticism or judgment. In Buddhism, self-compassion is seen as a crucial part of the path to enlightenment. The Buddha taught that we cannot truly love or care for others if we do not first love and care for ourselves. Cultivating self-compassion allows us to heal from within and to extend that compassion outward toward others. One of the key benefits of self-compassion is that it helps us break free from the cycle of self-criticism and perfectionism. Many of us hold ourselves to impossibly high standards and judge ourselves harshly when we fall short. This constant self-criticism can lead to feelings of inadequacy, shame, and even depression. Self-compassion offers an alternative approach, one that acknowledges our imperfections but responds with kindness and understanding. Self-compassion also helps us build resilience. When we treat ourselves with kindness during difficult times, we are better able to recover from setbacks and challenges. Rather than beating ourselves up for our mistakes, we can approach them with a learning mindset and move forward with greater ease and confidence. Furthermore, self-compassion encourages mindfulness. By staying present with our own pain and suffering, without trying to suppress or avoid it, we develop a deeper understanding of our own emotional experience. This mindful awareness helps us respond to ourselves with greater compassion and care. Meditation is a powerful tool for cultivating self-compassion. Loving-kindness meditation, in particular, is often used to foster feelings of warmth and kindness toward ourselves. In this practice, we silently repeat phrases such as, "May I be happy," "May I be healthy," or "May I be at peace," focusing on sending love and kindness to ourselves. Ultimately, self-compassion in Buddhism is about recognizing that we are worthy of the same care and kindness that we offer to others. By treating ourselves with compassion, we cultivate inner peace, resilience, and the ability to extend that compassion to the wider world. 18. Practice letting go. Letting go is a central teaching in Buddhism, emphasizing the importance of releasing attachments, desires, and expectations that lead to suffering. The Buddha taught that clinging to anything, whether material possessions, relationships, or ideas, creates a sense of craving and dissatisfaction, as all things are impermanent. The practice of letting go involves recognizing that nothing in life is permanent or fixed, and that trying to hold on to things that are constantly changing only leads to frustration and pain. Letting go is not about detachment in the sense of indifference or avoidance, but rather about releasing the emotional grip we have on things and learning to flow with life as it is. One of the primary benefits of letting go is the freedom it brings. When we stop clinging to things that are beyond our control, we create space for greater peace and equanimity. Letting go allows us to live in the present moment, free from the burdens of past regrets or future anxieties. Letting go also helps us cultivate acceptance. By releasing our attachment to how we think things should be, we open ourselves to accepting life as it unfolds, with all its imperfections and uncertainties. This acceptance leads to greater inner peace and contentment. Mindfulness plays a key role in the practice of letting go. Through mindfulness, we observe our thoughts, emotions, and desires as they arise, without getting caught up in them. This awareness helps us see the transient nature of our attachments and allows us to release them with greater ease. Meditation is another powerful tool for letting go. In meditation, we practice observing our thoughts and emotions without attachment, allowing them to come and go like passing clouds. This practice helps us cultivate a sense of detachment from the ego and its desires, leading to greater freedom and peace. In essence, letting go in Buddhism is about releasing our attachment to things that cause suffering and embracing the present moment with openness and acceptance. By letting go of our desires, expectations, and clinging, we create space for greater peace, freedom, and happiness in our lives. 19. Embrace simplicity. Simplicity is highly valued in Buddhist teachings, reflecting the belief that a simple life leads to greater inner peace and contentment. In a world that often encourages excess and complexity, Buddhism teaches us that true happiness comes not from acquiring more, but from appreciating less. At the heart of simplicity is the practice of contentment, finding joy and satisfaction in what we have, rather than constantly seeking more. The Buddha taught that craving and attachment to material things are major sources of suffering, as they create a sense of perpetual dissatisfaction. By embracing simplicity, we let go of the endless pursuit of external possessions and instead focus on cultivating inner wealth. Simplicity also encourages mindfulness. When we simplify our lives, we create space for greater awareness and presence. We become more mindful of how we spend our time, energy, and resources, and we learn to appreciate the beauty and richness of each moment. One of the key benefits of simplicity is that it reduces stress and anxiety.